Hello again. I'm back doing another video like this. Once again cutting my head out, although you probably will see my face in the near future. We'll get to that. This is another KGLW news drop type of video, except this is going to be more reviews of some experiences I just had. I was just at the Caverns and at Red Rocks. So I'm going to talk about my experiences that I just had in the past week and a half. Residency tour is still going on. Tonight is the last show in Chicago. I was not at any of the Chicago shows, but I saw the set lists of the first two nights and looks like a good time. And then their boys are off to Seattle and then the Hollywood Bowl show. So first, I want to talk about the Caverns. I was at the Saturday and Sunday night shows, both fabulous shows. I didn't get to go inside the caves for those first two shows. Those tickets sold out quickly and were expensive afterwards, but that's okay. Saturday night was also drag night, and I was wearing this dress that I'm wearing right now. Also on drag night was the live debut of the song Witchcraft, which they played again at Red Rocks. Absolute banger of a song. Also at the Caverns, Sunday night was the acoustic night. Now, I went with a friend, Macy. She had never seen King Giz before. She really loved the electric night. She was not as crazy about the acoustic night. I personally loved it, though. I've seen the band multiple times, and so to see this acoustic show was really cool. It was really different. The boys were a little... They'd been sucking back on Grandma's cough medicine a little bit that day, which was clear and evident on stage, but that's all right. Still, acoustic night was a great experience to have, and hearing songs like It's Got Old, and I'd never heard The Wheel before, which they did acoustic and electric at Red Rocks, so I got to hear The Wheel twice. Most of what I like. They started with Lonely Steel Sheep Flyer, which was just a perfect starter to the night, in my opinion. I did see them play that song in 2017, actually, before. But it's definitely one I don't feel like they play enough, and so I was really glad they opened the night with that song. And they also played Presumptuous acoustic night. I had never heard that, and then Presumptuous was also played the third night at Red Rock, or third show, second night at Red Rocks. And it led into Hypertension, which was probably my highlight of the Red Rocks. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I just wanted to say Caverns was awesome. It was my first time there, even though I'm from Tennessee. Caverns was such a cool venue. If you get a chance to go there, you should. For any show, be it King Gizzard or someone else, really cool venue. Really loved it. I got to also go to the meetup at the Caverns. Really nice. Got to meet Steph and Echo, who helped make this, and Rami and Melanie, and I shouldn't go through all the names of people I met because I'm going to forget a lot of people. But I met a lot of people. Colorado, I did not get to go to the meetup, but Red Rocks is by far one of my favorite venues, and it's world famous for a reason. Flew to Colorado and visited my brother and sister-in-law. They're not really into King Giz. That's okay, we can forgive them. But I met up with my friends Caleb and Amy, two of my best friends, and it was great hanging out with them. We went to all the shows together. They actually did a podcast about it, which I will link below. They do van life, and they have a podcast. It used to be called Untitled Van Life. Now it's just called The Untitled Life. I will link that below, where they talk about their Red Rocks experience and seeing King Giz, and just the energy that the band gives off of, and just the creative force that they are, and how they just inspire us to be creative. And yeah, you should listen to their podcasts. They probably put it in better words than I can, just doing my ramble style videos here. About the Red Rocks show. So there was the initial Wednesday night June 7th show. That was just an absolute banger of a night. Some highlights was Motor Spirit, which they had teased at the Caverns show I was at, but they teased more of Motor Spirit night one at Red Rocks. I think that was kind of the most they had teased it, even though they had teased it before. I want to say at the Caverns they only played about 2 minutes of Motor Spirit, whereas at Red Rocks I think they played almost 5 minutes of it. So it was awesome. And then they played Superbug, which I didn't expect, but I left my body. I was so happy that they played Superbug. They played AstroTurf, which I really wanted to see live. I missed it. It's a live debut at the Caverns. And then they did a live debut of Hate Dancin' the first night, and that was all really cool to see, the whole show. It was probably my favorite of the 3 Red Rock shows, even though all 3 was incredible. But the next day, just as a whole, was one of the coolest experiences. So I found out, I guess Red Rocks had technically done a few day shows before. It's rare, but they have done day shows, but this was the first time they'd done a double header. In other words, where they had a day show and a night show, same band playing 2 shows. So King Giz, made history, Red Rocks history, on the 8th, doing a day show and a night show. Never been done before in the history of Red Rocks. So getting to be a part of Red Rocks history as well as King Giz history. I got to be at their first 3 Red Rocks shows last year that were all marathon sets. Felt like that was being a part of King Giz history. But this felt like a part of both King Giz history and Red Rocks history, even though I guess I could say that about last year's show. So yeah, there was the day show. Day show was super cool. Highlights for me was they did Satan Speeds Up, which Ambrose said it was a live debut, but Stu said it was not a live debut. They had played it once before, but they totally botched it. I thought they nailed it at Red Rocks. Really glad they pulled that out. I assume that's one of the old songs they had mentioned in the Giz mail that they'd been working on, because they said they'd been working on some old songs. And then that day show, the whole show was great, but ending with Magma was incredible. Magma was a great ender for that show. So, and then in between the sets, so I didn't get a day pass, but I had a ticket for both shows, so I was able to get my ticket scanned and get a wristband and stay inside, and they did a world, or a first public listen premiere of the new album, PetroDragonic Apocalypse. So I got to listen to that all the way through, as well as, I don't even know how many other, probably 4,000 to 5,000 other people were in there getting to listen to it. Maybe more. Thousands of people were in there and they got to listen to that. And it was super cool to get to hear the new album like 8 days before it officially releases. And then there was the night show, which a storm did come through, and a storm actually came through Sunday night at the Caverns, and which the opener got bumped, and I think King Giz started 15 minutes late, and the exact same thing happened the last show at Red Rocks. Opener got bumped, and King Giz started about 15 minutes late, but we did get to see some really cool lightning at Red Rocks, which was cool. Kamikaze Palm Tree was the opener, and I'll just say they weren't my cup of tea, but they're also an opener that I will never forget. So hopefully that's a compliment. I saw them 3 out of the 5 shows. That was enough for me, and I wish them well in the future. So other Red Rocks experiences that I got to talk about, though. So afterwards, myself and my friend Caleb and Amy, who have their Untitled podcast, the next day, Friday, before I went to the airport, we all walked into a tattoo parlor and got tattoos. Caleb and Amy are now part of the Gator Gang. They got the little gator tattoo. I was going to get that. I already have a Nonagon Infinity tattoo, not too dissimilar from the one right behind me here. But I did not get that tattoo. I actually got a different tattoo that I had in mind that isn't exactly King Giz related, but we all got tattoos together after the show in commemoration, and I did get, I actually got a Joshua Tree tattoo. I will talk about U2 at Red Rocks in 1983, maybe in a future video. Speaking of the future, the future of the tour, like I said, boys still have to do Seattle and the Hollywood Bowl. I wouldn't be surprised if they also do a KEXP session while they're in Seattle. They normally do, and it would be great to get one, especially because I think they'll be in Seattle the same time that the album comes out, so it makes sense that they would do a session at KEXP. Definitely hoping that happens. There's also a rumor for Hollywood Bowl. Do note this is a rumor. I'm not saying this is what will happen, but there's a rumor that King Giz is considering for their 3-hour marathon show playing at least one song off of every album they've released, which they're about to release number 24. And the 3-hour marathon shows at Red Rocks were, I think, an average of 27 to 29 songs. So if you have about 24 songs and maybe throw in a couple extras, it actually adds up, but I'm not saying that is what will happen. There's been a rumor, though, that the Hollywood Bowl is going to be a celebration of their entire discography, everything they've released, and they want to do at least one track off every album. It's already been announced by Ambrose that they had initially planned on flying out Ambrose's father to perform at the Hollywood Bowl, which obviously, sadly, he passed away, and that is not happening, but I think that's perhaps where some of the speculation started, was like, oh, they were going to play some Eyes Like the Sky. They're talking about the show being a big deal, the 1 3-hour marathon that they're doing for this tour. Are they maybe, and they had talked in the Gizmail about practicing older songs, so are they going to do one song off of every album or every release that they've done so far? Don't know if that's true, but it would be really cool if they did that. I think that'd be a really interesting show to experience. So other than the future of the tour, I'd like to now go into some boring ramblings about, first, the future of this channel. So I'm new to YouTube. I'm new to all this. I'm not very tech savvy, but I'm getting a little better here as I'm practicing my audio editing and my video editing, and I know it's not top notch. You're welcome to criticize me below as much as you want, but as far as the future of this channel, right now it's basically been a King Gizzard channel, and that probably is going to be the majority of what it is, but I would like to talk about some other things. Eventually, Sigur Rós is getting ready to release a new album, and they just released a new single, and Sigur Rós and Radiohead or Tom York, Johnny Greenwood projects, or any Radiohead side projects, as well as King Giz side projects, such as the Murlocs and Pipe Eye and Bullant and whatever. I'd eventually like to do more videos on other topics, mostly music related, I believe, or maybe just talking about Red Rocks in general, maybe talking about, I already mentioned U2 in 1983 at Red Rocks. So I don't know what all the future is for this video, and you can write below if you like any of those ideas, talking about Sigur Rós or Radiohead or Red Rocks or whatever. I'm hoping to do more video edits, so I've done all these audio edits, the Red Rocks Reimagined, and I've got a playlist, if you check out my channel, called 15 for Fishies. I'm planning on, hopefully before the month is over, it's the month of June, I think we got about 2 more weeks, a little over 2 more weeks in this month. I am hoping to make all the audio edits in the 15 for Fishies downloadable as just audio files that you guys can download. It'll be in the form of 19 audio files, because some of the long ones I had to split. But yeah, 15 for Fishies, 19 audio downloads. Want to make that available to you guys before the month is over so that you guys can check out that playlist, click on each video, and it will have a link of how to download it, and you can download either your favorites or you can download all 15/19 audio files, and you'll have that collection. But I also want to make that collection into video edits if I can get all the video footage. I mentioned in my last video I did like this, I gave a shout out to MikeSide, who's been one of my favorite YouTubers that's been creating King Giz content, and that's kind of what he's done. He's done these video edits with audio edits, and yeah, hoping to steal a little bit of his thunder, because I love what he does. I'd like to do something similar with my existing audio edits, so I might be doing that in the not too distant future, but I'm having trouble finding video footage of some stuff that I would like to use, so we'll see where that goes. I'm also going to be pretty soon, so whenever I do videos like this, I'm going to probably continue the trend of not showing my face, but I will be showing my face soon. Reason why I want to do videos like this not showing my face is I want to be any King Giz fan. You know, I am you, I am me, I am Gaia type of situation. So I don't necessarily want to, well, the point is, it's not that I'm against showing my face, but I'm going to keep doing videos like this with face, head cut off, keep myself, for the most part, anonymous, but I do have a video idea that will hopefully come off as funny and in good taste. I'm bald and have glasses, so I don't look exactly like Anthony Fantano, but I look enough like him that I want to do a spoof review video of PetroDragonic Apocalypse. Make fun a little bit of Mr. Fantano, but also make fun of myself and other Giz heads that are just obsessed with everything that Giz does. So hopefully it will, hopefully it'll come off well. Anyways, I'm going to start working on that pretty soon. And that will have my face in it, but generally videos like this will have my head cut off. And I'm going to keep that as my usual trend. I guess the last thing I want to do is shout-outs. Once again, I'm going to be making it also a normal thing at the end of these videos to be shouting out other YouTubers that are creating King Giz content that I think is worth checking out. I gave a lot of shout-outs. My last video, some were bigger and more known, such as the Altered Beast Broadcasting, Mystery Jack Official, Hutch is On. Some were a little smaller, like Owen Burr and MikeSide, who I talked about, and I really like MikeSide. You should check out his stuff, and I'm hoping to make content similar to his stuff in the not too distant future. But having just gone to the Caverns and Red Rocks, there's some great people out there that have done pretty good jobs filming those entire shows and putting them up. So first few shout outs, I've got Sky's Boots, we've got Scizzardland, and then I'm maybe not pronouncing this correct, but markit aneight, markit aneight? Who? I don't know. Anyways, they're all going to be linked below. Going to link a lot of stuff below. Things to check out. My friend's podcast, the Untitled Life podcast. I'm even going to have you check out the Average Wanderers, who are good friends of my friends Caleb and Amy, and indirect friends of mine. I've only got to hang out with them once, like a year and a half ago, but Jen and Bryce have a great YouTube channel that you should check out if you're into checking out van life. They also have a dog named Kane, who I adore. But yeah, I'm going to link all these people: Sky's Boots, Scizzardland, Markit aneight. I also mentioned some funny edits last time from Real Ian, who I think changed his YouTube name to Soy Protein Machine. LAPSILUCO? Once again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing any of this stuff correct. LAPSILUCO is how I'm just saying it, whether it's right or not. They did Crumbling Castle with Mario sounds, and they might have done all of Polygon Wonderland, the album now at this point. I'll link that. It's another just kind of like funny but interesting thing. Everyone else that I want to shout out this time is if you want to learn music. I've mostly got bass players that I'm going to be shouting out. So I've got 4 people that have done a lot of bass tutorials if you want to learn bass lines, King Gizzard bass lines. There's Yvan Sarlieve. Sorry if I'm not saying your name correct. Yvan, I think it's Yvan. There's also Amedeo S, Invisible Face Bass, like that name. There's a lady named Vicky Veryno. She's great because she's done like a 15-minute video of like, I don't even know how many King Giz bass lines, but she also did a long video of a bunch of Radiohead bass lines. And those are my 2 favorite bands, King Giz and Radiohead, and she did multiple bass lines. I used to be a bass player. I now do more drumming, which my electric drum set is behind me here. But all these are great channels to check out if you want to learn any bass lines for King Giz songs. I will link all those channels below. I didn't actually look up very many guitar people, or any guitar people, really. There is a guy that I follow called Comrade Question, and he had at least one tutorial for the demo that used to be called Uncolonize and became Converge, which Converge will be on the new album. But there's a tab for the old demo of Converge that is on Comrade Question's channel, and that's a really cool song and cool riff, so that'd be cool to learn. And as far as drums, I only am linking one person, another name I probably cannot say correctly, Joseph Samaniego. Once again, I'm butchering all these names, so apologies for all the names I'm butchering. But I'm going to link everyone if you want to try to learn bass or a little guitar or little drums when it comes to King Gizzard music. And I didn't actually tell my favorite story from Red Rocks. So I didn't get to meet any of the boys, and that's okay. Still haven't met any of the boys. I was apparently at the airport at the same time as them, but I didn't run into any of them. But I did get to meet Cav's parents and grandparents. So the second night at Red Rocks, I went to go get a drink. Gin and Sprite is my poison of choice. Anyways, they were right ahead of me, and the band had introduced the dad the night before because he was hanging out by the drum set just watching Cav's drum during the whole first show at Red Rocks. So I thought he looked familiar, but I wasn't sure if it was Cav's dad, and then I went up to the bartender, and she was like, "Oh, that's so nice. That was the drummer's family." And I was like, "Oh, it was the drummer's family." So after I got my drink, I grabbed them really quickly. I just got to meet Cav's parents and grandparents, incredibly nice people. I thanked them for coming to America to experience these great shows with us. I was wearing this dress, which Cav's dad asked me about, and I said I got it for drag night, but I was wearing it again because I didn't want to buy a dress and just wear it once. You know, you gotta get some usages out of it. And it was really nice chatting with them. You know, I told them I'm obsessed with his son's band and all the music that he and his friends do and create, and that almost every day I jump on this electric drum set in my apartment and play along to their music. His dad and his mom were just really nice, and also his dad, apparently I should have asked to see it. I should have gotten a picture with them or something. I don't like being annoying about pictures with stuff like that, but Cav's dad got a tattoo that says KGLW, but it's in the letter shape formation of AC/DC, because he's a huge AC/DC fan, which makes sense, being an Australian rock band, legendary Australian rock band. Okay, well that's all. I've rambled and rambled away. And now you can write in the comments, what do you want to see come out of this channel? Do you want more news and updates and review videos like this? Do you want more edits? I am hoping to do more audio edits once more bootlegs come out, but my main focus is going to be Red Rocks and Red Rocks shows. One thing I will promise to you, if King Giz is playing Red Rocks, I will be there and I will be documenting it at least a little bit in some way. That I promise to you oh mighty viewers of mine. Okay, have a great day, or night, or whatever time you're watching this. Bye.